Sharing the screen. So we're going to start with a little PowerPoint presentation here. Whoops, got to get back to the beginning. Sorry, guys. Somehow it ended up on the end. Okay, so I'm going to keep it a little smaller just so that we can see the people on the right here still, and then we can let them in. Okay, so here's our little place out here in the woods. We're down south of Sun River, as we mentioned, and this is us standing with one of my sculptures. And we are welcoming people to come take workshops when we can do that again, but we're developing them online at the moment. We have open studio events about 3 times a year. Here's Amy with us at one of our open studio events, who participated selling some of her jewelry. And we do those about, seasonally, I guess, when we will again. And we give studio tours too when we do those.
And this is just some images of our, on the top left, we have a canal that goes back behind our place. And over here on the left, this is our studio. We converted our garage into a studio. That's our house up on the right. And this is our inside, our workspace. Over here on the top right, those are my work. That's my workbench, and that's where I do a lot of my work. And we have a classroom area. If you go down to the bottom one over here on the left, this is where we do our classes. And we have a back bench that overlooks. And Alisa's kiln area is in the back here. It's kind of dark. And that's her metal room over here on the right.
Walled in. This is a different view of the bigger kiln on the upper left with I'm loading up a big piece there. That's the enameling that gets fired in the kiln. And then over here on the right, you can see the closed kiln and the smaller kilns on the far end over here. Another view of our little classroom area. And it looks like somebody might be popping in. Hold on here. Unless somebody just made a noise, I don't see it saying that.
Oh, I forgot to turn my email off. So
okay. No problem.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
Froze a little bit.
Oh, shoot.
Pardon?
Froze.
Let's say you were frozen for a second.
Uh-oh. Okay, so the lower right photo shows our metal shop. It's not huge, but it's big enough for us to build things out of steel and other metals. And
what do you use your sandblasting cabinet for?
Oh,
sandblasting.
Yeah, yeah, well, but what are you sandblasting?
Go to some of these secondhand stores and find there's a lot of old enameled objects. Like we found a bunch of cups that had these enameled cups, and they had these. It was put out. Yeah, it was put out by some rum company, and so they had all these things about rum. And we sandblast top, and then she can enamel on top of the base enamel.
And also, Wade was printing some wood rounds, and he sandblasted out the soft part of the wood. And I use it to sandblast off rust off of steel as well to clean it. Does that answer your question?
Yep, I was just curious what you guys were using it in shop for.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
And this is some pictures of some classes we were giving.
Nice.
In the printmaking classes, just sort of pictures of us.
How often do you do those during non-pandemic times?
Well, we had in February, we put together the schedule for this year, and we were going to be doing them
A
basically
lot.
probably 2 a month.
Well,
You know, nothing happened, so we don't know. We may have been a little over optimistic about it, but
well, obviously, but no, the first year we gave them here, we did several in a year, but we were going to double that this year. But now we're focusing on the online versions, so we will launch those pretty soon. I think getting really close. So this is a you might recognize a couple people. Let's see, Jesse's in there. Jess, I mean, I don't know if you can even see that well. But anyway, the first photo, they're designing their pieces. The second one on the top right is where they learn how to plasma cut, and then they shape. And then this lower left shot shows how we spray the granular spray, the layer of white glass. And that's what I'll be showing tonight, not the spraying, but the sgraffito in this next picture where you see the face is in the glass. It's already been fired into the surface of the glass. And then I'm adding the color here with the watercolor enamel. You can also add color with spray, layers of spray and sgraffito again. This is one of my students having fun with her 3D piece and then showing the small kiln being loaded.
And for one of the workshops, we took everybody out. The first day we went out to Benham Falls and just had them doing sketches and kind of connecting to the nature around here. And then we came back and they could they use it to create their wood blocks or doing their enameling.
That's, I think.
Need to bear the torch for a while?
No, I'm good, but I'm wondering how long the battery will last. If we might go inside.
Oh,
Okay, why don't we do that then?
yeah.
Gonna go in, you want us to hold on?
Nope. You can
No,
carry
no,
on.
we're going to carry the laptop with us, but I'm not sure if the battery will last.
Okay, sounds like a plan. So I'm going to share a little bit of my work now and my sculpture and enameling, and then Wade will share some of his, and then we'll share some live stuff. So this is one of my public pieces. This is called Going for Your Vision. It's in the Lake Oswego Public Art Collection. It won People's Choice in 2004, and that made it so I could buy my equipment for my studio, which was awesome. Prior to that, I was sharing a studio with someone else. Heart Connection is in Puyallup's Public Art Collection in Washington. It was inspired by our wedding rings that Wade designed and I made 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's about connecting at the heart spiritually and staying grounded as individuals at the same time. Contact number 1 and 2. These are about bringing people together pre and post COVID, I guess, although it is 6 feet wide. You'd have to sit right on the edge. The orange one is in Canna Beach in their public art collection, and the yellow one I still have. I think some of you may have seen it at the COMAG show last time. Roll and Play is at the Maryhill Museum. It's made to help people remember to play and roll around in the grass like we did as children. Taking Flight is in McCall, Idaho. It was dedicated to my father, who was a smoke jumper firefighter there in the 60s. Chris Poole Jones Memorial was made to honor her, Chris Poole Jones, who was key in getting the first Black-owned LEED building constructed in the country. Actually, it's in Portland. And it was really wonderful to work with these women from the Delta Sigma Theta sorority. And now I'm going to show you a little bit of glass on steel. This is called Body Memory. It's basically a sample piece of the biography work that I do for people to honor their lives. This one is showing my life history, actually. This one I did for my mother called Honoring Arma, where I drew images of the creation she has done through her life. And she loves the back where I'm holding her leg. The Water Maiden was made to honor the water and the rivers we share with the fish and other creatures. That sold in the alchemy exhibit in Tennessee in the Metals Museum.
What are the scale of some of those?
Pardon?
The scale. So
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, this one is about 15 inches tall.
Okay.
yeah,
The other woman is too. And
but your body man.
it's not much bigger. I think it's
Okay.
about the same. I can't
It's
fit too big of things in my film. This one's about 13 inches in diameter. This is called Folding into Nature. It's about coming to terms with climate change and that we're going to fold back into nature possibly sooner than we had planned. I've been working with this theme a while in my work. Humility Rising is about our collective humility and what we've done to the planet. One wing is reaching up for answers with little eyes on the feathers. The other wing is hard to lift up at times because of the humility. He's standing on a hurricane. Healing Tree is about planting trees like you, Jesse. We're trying to support the Tree Sisters and other ways to support the environment and absorb the carbon. And this on the back here, it encourages people to plant trees. This is a smaller one. This is like 7 inches tall. That's been sold. Spirit masks are another, the owner of the things they love, the places they love. They're anywhere from 6 inches tall to 13 inches tall. So they're not big, not too big. And then I make jewelry, and a lot of the jewelry is made in workshops because it's a small scale. People can try a lot of things. And I'm really into the 3D pieces like in the middle here right now. I've been doing more of that, hammering and shaping. And then I re-enamel. A lot of fun because I can spray just the white and then draw, and I don't have to construct the whole piece, and it makes more affordable work for people. So they're lids and roasting pans, cups, things like that. And this is a larger version of that. This is the biggest thing I can fit in my kiln is an oven door and oven drawer, and then turn those into multimedia pieces. So thank you. Now Wade is going to share. I'm going to stop the share for a second and share the video that he has of a little demo.
I got a short little video that's got speeded up version of.
Can I interrupt real quick?
Sure.
You bet.
Do you do all your enamel stuff in a kiln, or do you ever torch fire?
I do torch fire once in a while, smaller pieces, but not very big because you have to get that heat in every spot. So it's a lot easier in the kiln.
Oh, so you're pretty limited by just with enameling the size of your kiln then.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm limited by the size of my. I'm down in California where they had a conveyor belt kiln, large scale.
Wow.
But once COVID's over, I'm going to go down there and rent that space or teach, one or the other. Yeah, that'll be fun. I've been wanting to do that for years. So let me share this video that Wade has. Where is that one? Hold on here. I had it open, but
Yeah. It can get closed.
no, I don't think it did. I think it's just,
I'm so
it's
good.
probably,
Take a slice of cheese, though. That's all right.
I should have real cheese for you.
No, what do you mean not real cheese?
I've been trying to back off.
here it is.
Not bad. Try it.
Okay, so Wade's going to tell you a little bit about his process while this video is going.
So, I mean, I do a couple things. I do mainly block printing. This is called relief printing because what you do is you carve away what you don't want to print. In any raised area, you'll ink up a roller the ink will pick up on any raised area. So sometimes this is made out of wood. Also, there's a term called lino cuts, which is done out of linoleum. But it's essentially the same method. It's just you're essentially carving away what you don't want to print.
This is a very quick video. It's about 2 minutes, I think.
Yeah, I should get the inking up here pretty soon.
Hey guys, you keep freezing a little bit. I don't know if you can hear me. Can I make a recommendation? Is to stop playing, stop broadcasting your video feed and only screen share.
Okay. I think I'll just skip forward and show you. Okay, let's just do that. You know, sometimes the video skips too on the Zoom, I've noticed when I've done it. Okay, let me go back to that.
Well, the spices are right. Everything else is kind of weird. It's a little chalky. I mean, it's not horrible.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's just show them the rest of this.
All right. Yeah. So this is a sample of just a single reduction or woodblock print. That's just the black and white. You carve away what you don't want to print what's raised. This is a same thing, but it's hand colored with watercolor. It's a way to add color to it, but it's just a single block print. And because we hand add the colors, it's called a mono print. And here's another sample. This is a series I did of all of Central Oregon birds. A lot of them that we see around here.
What's the scale on those?
Those are about 4 by 5 inches.
Oh, wow.
This one is about 8 by 10. The great thing about one thing about woodblock prints is that they you can't get a lot of detail in there, so that you're telling your story through a real blocky way, and it looks great when you blow it up, and it looks great when you shrink it down. It's real graphic.
Yeah.
This is another way to add color. It's the additional way to do color prints is that you do a different block for each color that you're going to be using. So like if you're doing a 4-color print, you've got 4 different blocks. Be the same. I like to do a style that's called reduction woodblock, and it's all done on the same plate. You'd only have one plate, and this is the different stages of a particular one. Essentially, what you carve away.
Real quick, Danielle just sent me a text that she switched computers and she's waiting to be let into the room.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for telling us. Okay, let me get her. There she is. Okay, now I got her. Okay. Hi, Danielle.
Yeah, she has her voice.
Yay, you're back. Thank you for letting us know.
Yeah. So you carve away what you want to be white, and you print your lightest color, and then you carve away what you want to be that lightest color and print a color on top of it, and then you carve away, what you want to be that color and print another color on top of it. And you just keep going until you usually can't do more than about but this method solves a lot of your registration problems. But the other thing about it is that when I do my first plate, if I stop at 20, I'm not going to be able to get any more than 20. Once I start carving away, then I can't get any more of that first plate.
Well, that's kind of nice, though. Isn't like an artist, though? Like you get to have a run on something and it makes them unique.
Yeah, exactly. It kind of keeps, and it takes me a while. I hand rub.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, each print, probably takes me about a half an hour to rub.
Yeah.
So, by the time I've done 20 and my arm's is about to fall off and I very rarely do more than about 25, sometimes less.
Fix the screen so I can check my email.
And this is another reduction block. And
Is this like a rag board that you're printing on, or is it a special paper?
no, it's paper.
Okay, go ahead.
I use something called rice paper. It's not really made out of rice. It just comes from Japan. So everybody has always called it rice paper. And it's because the Japanese use wooden mallets to beat up their pulp. So the way paper works is it gets broken up into strands, and then you suspend it in water, and the strands kind of interlock. But when you use the wooden mallets, they stay long. But in a commercial process where they're using metal mallets, it gets real short, but it makes the paper a lot weaker. And so the Japanese papers will take a lot of rubbing. I can do 4 layers on it, and some of the others, the commercial ones, they'll start falling apart after.
Where do you buy that Japanese paper from?
Well, I get it at a place out of Tigard. It's pretty hard to find around here. Actually, I don't even think Laurie has it.
They don't have it in Lapine?
No. No. But yeah, I usually have to send it away. You either have to go to Portland. The one in Tigard, it's just, you can't even go to, so you have to send. Even if you live there, you have to order it. You have to have them send it to you. So
He could send a link if you want it.
Oh, I was just curious. I don't think I need any, but
Okay.
Take the link.
and another way to do color, this is it's called a jigsaw, and essentially it's all done on one plate. And in this case, I usually use a soft linoleum, although you could use wood for this. But what you do is you take one plate, and for each color, I've cut those out. Like first I carved this llama, and then I cut around him, and then I divided the sky from the ground. And so I have 3 separate pieces now, and then I ink them up separately, and then recombine them, and take my print off of it. This one shows this is the color version. I cut them up, inked them up differently, then printed it, and then I did another plate where I just did the black lines and then printed that over the top of it. And another thing that I do is I got interested in something called total art. It was through studying art history. During the Dada movement, there was a group of German Dadaists who were attempting to do what they called total art. And essentially, it's just art that tries to combine more than one sense. So like you have your visual artists are just doing visual things, but they're trying to incorporate sound, motion, color, visual, and just trying to incorporate more than one thing. So you're not just appealing to one set of senses. This is a piece we did for the Winterfest. Both Alisa and I collaborated on it.
You guys might recognize it, some of you, huh?
I remember that.
That was the first time I met you guys. We hung out and chatted all night.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And in the cold,
fun.
cold.
I think it's the
Yeah.
first time we met Kellen too.
Yeah.
And
So how do you say that word?
It's called Schemate Kunstwerk.
Perfect. Love
It-
Not a hard twerk.
no.
total art's a lot easier to say.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. The Germans seem to invent really, really difficult words, really long.
No, they got nothing on the Scandinavians.
Yeah, that's probably where they got the idea from. And this was the production of it. You want to talk about it a little bit?
Oh, okay. We did this together. So we designed it together using a lot of drops from my public art and some of my smaller work. So the base was made with the larger, like 3/8 inch thick steel drops. And then Wade made the mobile using some of the more like 1/8 inch thick steel drops from smaller works. And he combined that with his stained glass. And then, well, you can see how the light reflects and the fire moves. The theory is the fire moves the
rising
mobile.
heat moves the mobile around.
Yeah.
Do you guys? I mean, I know you guys are teaching out of there, and maybe you already said this and I missed it. Do you ever do stained glass workshops?
Oh, actually, no. I've never done a stained glass workshop, mainly because I just kind of dabble in it. I'm probably not the best person to be teaching it.
Well, I might want to pick your brain. I've been interested in dabbling in that.
Okay, well, actually, it might, yeah, it'll be fun. I got some glass out here, and you know, I do things now and then.
Yeah, it'd be fun. You might as well expand, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why limit?
yeah, it'd probably be fun to do some of your blacksmithing with glass.
Yeah.
And this is another piece we did it was a commission work I did where their mother, who's deceased now, would, whenever she went somewhere, she'd buy a bell. So to remind her of the trip. So they had this collection of all these bells, and I used it kind of as similar. They liked the way the fire piece looked. So I kind of combined them.
The colored elements, are they glass?
Yeah, that's stained glass.
Are you using copper foil then?
Well, no, these I'm using because they're going to be swinging around hitting the bell. I put the channel around the edges.
Okay. Oh, so the lead, what is it, caning?
Caning, yes, exactly.
Mhm.
So they're all surrounded by the.
And are they lead or are they
Well,
like brass or something?
no, yes, actually, I think this one I'm using brass, but yeah, you can get
Okay.
lead or brass.
Mhm. To match the bells.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah, this is one of the first pieces I did. It's a it's wind generated. It's got little cups that catch the wind and make the wheel spin around. And this back tail cone, there's a series of a lot of cones, so it collects sound, you know, from where it's facing, and it channels it through this tube, and it opens up to another cone. And as this wheel spins around, there's gaps, and the gaps are in varying dimensions. So it'll block sound and then allow sound, block sound and allow sound in kind of a rhythmic fashion.
Oh.
Channels it to another cone that you can listen in the earpiece. So it was kind of a way to get you to, I mean, a lot of times we exist in our environment without really, you know, we don't hear the sounds anymore, or what's around us. And it was sort of a way to kind of isolate things and maybe get you to experience your environment differently.
Oh, it's a brilliant idea. All these like cones and cups that are part of this, are they found objects or are they made?
Well, I actually made them out of tin cans. You
Well,
know, large,
the fan you did.
yeah. This was a lamp part,
Mm-hmm.
and this is just some.
The cups on the wheels, are those?
Yeah, those are actually baking cups, like little muffin tins.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just kind of cut them and riveted them onto the bike wheel.
And then the cones that are like at the end of the fin there, like what are those?
Those I made those cones with. I cut up, you know, large tin cans, and then
Weren't
made.
they like Coke bottles or something?
Well, yeah, they were like the large Red Bull and the teas and stuff, and so they're very colorful. And I formed them to make cones out of them.
Nice.
Cool.
That's fun. It's a great piece.
Thanks. Okay, now Wade's going to show a piece he has currently in process. And I'm going to turn the computer a little bit for that.
If you're going to show a piece, you need to exit the slideshow and pin your video.
I just realized I hadn't done that. Sorry. So here we go. Now, see, I got a pin, Wade, don't I?
Well, it was such a small group. I would say everybody, if you go to your upper right-hand corner, it goes from gallery view to speaker view, and it'll bring them up as a whole thing if you're not already there. Is that moving from just the ambient air of the room?
Actually, I've got a fan. Yeah, it's moving. We turned on a little fan that's making it move. But essentially, it's the same process. It's stained glass on top.
Yeah.
But it's also shaped to catch the wind.
You can see it, and then it disappears.
And with this one, and then we took it's actually like a little kid's bike, and kind of cut it in half, and then cut the forks so they went out perpendicular. And then I suspend metal tubes down here and the little risers as they spin around and hit it. So I'll create a melody out of it. But it's one still in process.
Okay, now I'm going to do a little glass sgraffito demo for you, just a real short one so you can get a feel for the glass, okay?
Before you get too into this, I would just like to say, because we have that piece that was just shown to us.
Yeah.
I really like that all those baffles are at the angle, and especially the viewing angle that we could see. It was like, it would be solid on one side and you couldn't see him on the other. And I just really like that aesthetic. Nice work.
Well, thank you.
Cool. Yeah, it's really
Yeah,
fun in person. I don't know how well you could see it on the video, but
You could pick up the corrugated lines pretty well. At least I could.
Oh, good.
So I like that part of it too. I like the linear aspect of the corrugations with all that circular stuff happening. So yeah, I'd like to kind of echo what Callan was saying as nice bit of aesthetic, between all those elements.
Thanks.
Cool. Yeah, thanks. Okay, so now let's see here. Let me get this positioned right. Trying to multi-view here.
Yeah, we need your hub. We do multiple
We need your hub. We
cameras.
need your multiple camera hub. That's right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you just, you saw the images earlier of me spraying this, what I started with here is something that's already been ground coated, which is the first layer of glass. It's a black layer of glass, basically, like this. This one's been coated with some metallic luster that will be fired. It hasn't been fired yet. This one as well. So that can be happening right directly on the ground coat or on a color. Then after I spray it and sgraffito, I'll be showing you the sgraffito in a minute. This one I fired. I don't know if you can see the texture on that. This one here, it's got a little bit of a unfired look where it's still textured. That's the sugar fire. This is like a kind of I'd call it an orange peel where it still has a texture. And this one is completely fired to glass, so it's more shiny. So you can get different effects with it.
Hey, can I ask a quick question? So
Yeah.
I saw in that one you had holes in your pieces and you're using those pins to pin it in place. And the one that you're showing us now that you're about to work on, is that a hole that's in there? You have one pin in a hole and then the other ones are just kind of pinning it to keep it from moving? right?
That's right. And you know, if you don't have a hole, you can still pin it into place with just a little tension.
And you're pinning that on cardboard?
Yeah, I pin it onto cardboard to keep it in place.
And when you're firing it, it stays on the cardboard?
Oh, no, no,
No.
no, no. No, if it has a hole, I hang it from an S hook in the kiln.
Okay.
I've made a custom.
Oh, so gravity is not going to be that much of an issue when
No,
firing?
no, it's not an issue. The glass does not run.
Yeah,
I'm only firing it for like 3 minutes too, but it does go to glass, and it definitely, you're taking it out before it's, you know, I mean, it can, if there's something wrong with it, if there's some contaminant, it can roll off the steel on the,
Can I ask one question?
sure.
The pieces just prior to this with the sugar, the orange texture, and then the high gloss, are you doing just longer firing times, or is there a temperature variation for those?
Yeah, longer firing times is right. Yeah, I don't have to change the temperature to get that.
And
just have to-
and say, for example, you're going for the sugar texture. If you
Mhm.
were working with a larger piece, would you go for a longer period of time because of the larger mass, or does that matter?
It does, actually. It does take it longer to heat up to the right temperature, but you still want to take it out. It's not very much longer.
Okay.
I mean, I'm only firing about 1.5 minutes with the sugar fire
Got it.
generally, and I fire about 2.5 minutes for the glass, and in between is in between. You know, it's just kind of keeping an eye on it directly into the kiln, and then not great for your
Before
eyes.
you get too far, are you firing both sides, or just are you enameling both sides, or just one?
Yeah, both sides have enamel. This one's already been, I'm gonna move this out of the way in case I drop something on it. This shows that the back side, you can enamel and decorate both sides when you enamel on steel, because you're covering the whole surface with glass on the ground coat. The steel doesn't accept glass without a ground coat. It's a specially formulated glass to fuse to steel.
but
Copper you can directly enamel to. So I could spray copper and just scratch into it, which I have done as well. This one is a formed piece of steel, and I think you can kind of see there the shape. And then it's painted with, after it was sgraffitoed and fired, this is actually sugar fired as well. I don't think you can see it that well. It's painted with some luster, and I have not fired that one yet. This one was sgraffitoed and fired and then painted with watercolor with a very light touch. So you could barely get any color there. So it's kind of nice. You could get brights or so many different things you can do. But let me just show you some of the sgraffito tools. They're kind of fun. This one is handmade. It's called the pin tool, invented by my teacher. Of just bending a stick pin in, sticking it in a pen, an empty pen cart, handle, and then I use epoxy putty to glue it in there. This one just creates a really nice little fine line. Let me just, you can whoops, I didn't put my mask on. Bad girl. I got to put my mask on real quick.
So what is on the surface of the metal right now?
So what's on the surface of the metal is this sprayed enamel. It's a liquid enamel. Comes, you mix it with water, and then I put it into a paint sprayer, and I
But that right now, that has not been fired, is that correct?
This has not, this has one layer of enamel on it, the black layer. This is a pre-enameled steel that I can buy also, this particular piece. And it has that layer of enamel on it. And then I just spray on top of that and then scratch it off. So what happens is these particles of enamel have a little bit of a clay base, and so they can stick together as I spray multiple layers, like about 8, sometimes up to 4 to 8 layers of enamel to get this texture. And then it will loosen one particle at a time, basically, when you're, individual particles will release, but they'll still stay together and adhere together when you tap it. So that's kind of a nice, normally enamelists have trouble because they are working with powders, right? Have you worked with powders, Jim?
Yeah, a little bit, but quite a while back.
Yeah. So you can see my piece popped up a little bit, so I'm going to lay it back down.
Yeah.
Now this is a pin, a pin nib. You've used those probably for calligraphy at some point.
Hey, Alyssa, can you show that again, but hold it to your right some, because you're right underneath where all showing all the people.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, good. So that's basically a pen nib like you would calligraphy with.
Right.
So it gives a nice thick and thin line. So I'm just going to do a little drawing with that. Follow that curve. You can do words or numbers. Knock that off so you can see. Whoops, sorry, I'm doing it again. The light's just not quite right here.
It's legible though.
Yeah, we can see that. That's good.
Oh, good. Yeah, so it gives you, and I'll do a little word on here so you can see what that's like. How about the word fly? So there. The pins are a little bit in the way there, but so, and then I have, let's just do a couple other, if you want to have a nice bold line, this is going to be a very bold line, really wide. It's a stiff brush. So it's not like a soft brush, okay? So I'm going to take that and I'm going to just kind of get a dry brush look there and take it off.
That is so fragile.
And this also works on 3D objects. So just so you know, it's very, it sticks well. Oh, I didn't show you what I'm using, but this is another weight line, which is a skewer that I sharpen in a pencil sharpener. And that one you can see is like a medium weight. And then if I want to, if I want to feather something, I can take this tool, this pin tool again, and kind of feather it in. And it just gives you that sort of subtle shift. And then this is like a multi-point tool, multi-pin tool that made by my teacher. This one actually was his, I think.
You don't want to use that by accident in the morning.
I know, you could be in trouble. So you could take that and then just come off of one of the lines here and just drag it. And then you get this multi-line, parallel line, and you can also do hatching. Did you ask a question?
Nope.
Okay. So there's some, can you see the little bit of hatching there? Which you can do with the single line as well. And say, if you, like I said, if you say, oh, I want to make that connect better, I'll just go in and add it. So it's nice for making textures and then the other side of this toothbrush is kind of fun because you can just kind of dab it in there, and it's a little bit accidental, a little bit experimental to get a texture that's more random. You can see that. And if you want to expose a little bit more, you can take the soft brush, very soft brush, watercolor brush, and keep rubbing it a little bit, and you get a little bit bolder release of the powder. You don't want to brush hard because you can actually brush it off where you don't want to.
Yeah, it seems like that powder is fragile.
Pardon?
It seems like the powder is really fragile, like it comes off without a whole lot of effort.
Yeah.
Very easy. Yes, you are correct. And then I found this on the road. It's like a little, I don't know, part of a strap.
A fuse, I think.
A what?
Looks like a little Volkswagen fuse or something.
Well, it might be, but it was a longer strap. I think it was a strap, like a long metal strapping, and I cut off one side of it.
Oh, yeah, it's
And then
for,
so I said, that would be a nice comb. So
for a pipe.
so this'll, so this'll give you, I don't have much room for this. Let me try it over here. It'll give you kind of another multi tool. And you can see where I almost pressed the glass back into the piece a little bit. Sometimes it doesn't scrape off and it just gives you this sort of hard look. It'll fire in a different way. And then you can break up a hair comb and play with that. So there's just, you know, a lot of things you can do to get these effects. So that's pretty much it for that little demo. Go ahead.
Well, so what's next then? Now what?
So now what I would do next is fire that, and then it would be one of these effects.
Okay.
And then I would add the color, and, you know, using either paint on color or spray on color and scratch into the spray. So there's a lot of options.
So you can essentially repeat that same process over and over if you were spraying colors and then scraping off your line reductions. And you can fire that piece a multitude of times within a certain sort of reality. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'll show you one. I'll show you one I'm doing right now. That's color.
I remember doing a lot of sifting of the enamel powder
Yeah.
before we would mix it with the water, and it's like you just had to sift it forever.
Yeah.
Like couldn't have any you know, particulate that was out of size.
Yeah, she has to put it through like an 80 mesh.
Yeah.
When she's going to do the sprayer, because if she doesn't, it'll plug up.
It clogs it up. Yeah, and it would sputter and
Yeah. Give you a very unsatisfactory effect.
So
yeah.
when you enamel and fire the larger pieces, do you have to anneal them post firing, or are they just fine?
Anneal them post firing? No, I don't.
No, well, a lot of times working with glass, you anneal it after you've worked it, which allows the glass to relax so that it doesn't crack.
Right. With enameling, you're firing so short. You're putting it in a hot kiln and you're taking it out within a few minutes. It's not really, you have to cool it slowly, but that's it. You just don't want to hit it with something cold right away, although people do.
What's your cooling process?
Basically, I just set it, I leave it on the trivet. It just cools pretty easily, pretty quickly.
This is an air, and this is an air cool. You're not ramping down the kiln or anything. You're just air cool.
No, it's just air cooled. Like I'll show you, if I have it on the hanging rack here. Let's say.
Yeah, if you're doing stained glass, it's this whole process where it's got to go down to a certain temperature and stay there for an hour, then go down. Yeah, but with this, she doesn't have to do any of that.
So this would be taken in and out with a spatula, but this, like, I'll have something hanging on here, or I'll have a mask sitting on the, you know, between two of these, you know, laying in here, where the most important thing is you don't have the glass sitting where it's rubbing against something. It's got to be on something. These are very sharp. So you're not piece or running into another piece or a piece of the trivet. So, and then when you take it out, it just air cools. It probably takes 4 minutes, maybe 5 to air cool. So if it's a really big piece, it'll take longer and thicker if it's thicker. So what I was going to show you real quick is this is the blue one. And I don't know if you can see it. It's hard to see when you're doing the color, but you can't really, I can see some of the black line through there, but I have to refer to my drawing before I really can know for sure where my lines are under there. So it's a little bit of a mystery when you're working on the color sprays. Does that answer your color spray question?
I think so.
Yeah. Do you prefer a low carbon steel or a high carbon steel? I kind of forget what that base, that preferred base metal was for sheets and whatnot.
It's low carbon, cold rolled, no mill scale, if you can
Right.
help it. I have enameled pieces that were hot rolled before and ground off all the mill scale first, and they've lasted. I'm like, when's that going to pop off of there? But I don't know. It's but some pieces work well and some don't. So I guess if you're not getting all the contaminants off is the difference. Yeah, that's the really fussy part about enameling, is getting the metal clean. So if you start with cold rolled, you've got, you just have oil to get off. That's not too bad. So. Yeah.
Well, and you use tin cans and things too.
Yeah, I use these for jewelry. This is awesome. Just
Cool.
save your tin cans. And they shape well. They're like 30 gauge or something, and they're strong. I mean, it's very lightweight and strong, which is
And
nice.
you don't need to like bead blast it ahead of time. You can go straight to that chemically cleaned.
No. I need to sand the surface off of this. It's got that plastic on it, the can,
Right.
the interior, and the exterior is fine, but I sand it anyway. I get the letters off.
Do you use
Give
a
it a little
sandblaster?
What?
Do you use your sandblaster for that?
You could. Yeah, you could. I haven't yet. I do want to I want to figure out a way to use whole cans to make something really interesting. And I do want to sandblast. I like to cut them out, make shapes within them, and make, just because they're already a structure, right?
Aren't you
You could
doing
do it. You could do a whole Warhol series.
Yeah.
I thought you were doing the candle holders that way, where the images would dance through the negative.
Yeah. Yeah. You've made them, Danielle?
No, I thought that's what you were making when we had the last COMAG,
Yes.
retail show.
You're right. I was cutting, the ones I had there, I think were cut out of like Coke or beer cans.
Yes.
They're very lightweight, and they kind of had an enameling look to them because they had that beautiful color
I
scheme.
thought they were, I guess they were just, it was a heat patina, right?
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah. From cutting with the plasma cutter. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm going to do too many more of those. They're kind of ruining, they weren't very friendly to my plasma tips. They were a little, I don't know, there was something happening.
Not worth their.
So I don't want to run my plasma cutter with beer cans. But it was a good fundraiser for the Tree Sisters, and I did raise quite a bit of money for that, for
That's right,
planting
that's
trees.
what it was. Mhm.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Well, hey, so thanks, you guys.
Yeah.
That was
Thank
really
you.
Do you have any more questions or any other curiosities on your mind?
I don't think so.
No, thanks for having us and putting the time in. I can tell you put in some effort on the front side of this to make sure you had a nice presentation. Thank you for that.
Oh, thanks, Kellen. Yeah,
Thanks.
we like to do it, and it's fun, and then we love to share, and it's great to have an opportunity to see you all.
Yeah, where is everybody else? It seems like there's no excuses at this point, right?
I don't know, but I'm gonna
Going grocery shopping and still join. So
yeah, I'm flipping some COMAG members some shit for this one. Like,
We're being recorded.
Yeah, president.
Yeah.
yeah, where's Brad? Come on, Brad.
We actually did, we did record it, so if you want, we could share that.
I think that's a good idea. And really, I wonder if you can share it to the Facebook page.
I don't know, probably.
Kind of watch it at their own, because when Jim did his, I know a couple people missed it and then just hopped on the next day.
Right,
And watched
right.
it.
Yeah, or I could have Brad send an email out to or something. I don't know, maybe people aren't really opening their emails these days as much.
Especially from COMAG, we're not getting together.
I know. I know. Yeah, but I'll see what we can do for that. That'll be
I would
good.
love
That
to
would be great.
see the beginning where.
Well, thank you both. It was wonderful to see both what you're working on and your gorgeous space. We need to have a party down there.
Oh,
Yeah,
totally.
we do.
We were looking forward to that. That's what
I
we were gonna
know.
do tonight. Last year we were gonna do that.
Are you guys on Island Loop? Is that where you're
Yeah,
at?
exactly.
Mhm.
Oh, I know where you're at.
That's a cool spot. Yeah.
Oh,
Great. Yeah, you know right where to come then.
Yep. Only we can come though, because we showed up to the meeting.
yeah.
Audience.
Well, we'll do it again. We'll have another in-person party. We got a nice fire pit outside. We could,
I bet.
As long as we can light a fire.
not right now. Couldn't do that. Maybe it'll be a December party. Not the one we made. We have a different fire circle out there. We sold that one actually.
Oh, good.
When
The
we go
one
to-
with the mobile?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, far out. Right on.
We might go visit it when we're in Boise. That's where it is, at a friend's house there. She wanted it for her back area. So
Cool.
we're excited to see the patio. Maybe they finished the patio.
Yeah. The art with benefits.
Right. We told her we want to come to a dance
That would be a
party.
great bumper sticker.
Right? People be tailing you like,
I know.
What does it even
I want to be
mean?
an artist.
I want benefits.
must be a communist.
Absolutely.
Hey, thanks a lot, you guys.
Hey, thank
Yes,
you
thank you.
guys. Thanks so much for coming, and we hope to see you soon. And if anybody
Ooh. Well, it
people
was,
want to
really,
do Zoom,
it was good to see all your faces.
good to
Yeah.
see you too. Bye.
Bye.